Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome to Cardiff. So tonight I'm going to do a dedicated street photography shoot in my home main city, Cardiff. I've put off coming to Cardiff a few times because I know it so well. I come here shopping and spend a lot of time here. But it's difficult for me to see it as a photographer, and I think that's half the reason why I've decided to come here tonight, because I really wanted the challenge. I want to get better at street photography, and I figured if I wait for the opportunities to go down to London or Birmingham or Manchester, Liverpool, all these amazing cities for street photography, I'll probably never get there. So for me to be able to develop my skills as a street photographer, I've got to do it as much as possible. So I thought I'd force myself to come to Cardiff on a Friday night. It's actually the night before Wales play England tomorrow as well, so this could go one of two ways. Today could be absolute carnage. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting challenge. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm quite nervous about it actually, because you know when you're really familiar with an area, you don't see it in the same way. So if you get to a new city, a new town, you think, wow, that's cool, that's cool. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm actually using the Fujifilm X Pro 2 today, and I really adore this camera for street photography. One of the reasons is the OVF. Especially when the light goes low, I can switch the OVF on, so I'm looking straight through, not a digital viewfinder, but straight through the little glass there. And obviously I can check my exposure, make sure that's okay, but I can use the optical viewfinder just to get the composition and make sure that everything's right. So one of the things I wanted to talk with you today is I've had a load of questions since my last video, which was about confidence in street photography, which I'll put a link to up there if you want to check that out. I've got a lot of questions about why I use back button focus, and I mention it a lot, and a lot of people sort of want to know why. What's the advantages of using back button focus over obviously having the focus on the shutter button there. And it's quite easy for me because the way I shoot, if it be a landscape, if it's a wedding, I mean a wedding can be an exception if I'm tracking a bride moving or something like that, but I still find it easier just to have my thumb doing the focusing, and then when I'm ready I can hit the shutter to actually take the exposure. So with street photography it's really good, because it means that if I can anticipate a shot coming up, then I can pre-focus on that, and all I've got to do, make sure the settings are right, all I've got to do is wait for the person or the scene to be just right, and all I've got to do is press the shutter button, and I know it's going to be sharp, provided obviously I'll keep my camera still. So I'm not waiting for the person to move into the subject, then trying to focus on them in case it misfocuses on something behind them or in front of them or to the left or to the right of them. Either way, I know that my focus zone is exactly where I want to put it, and then obviously I can either lock the exposure, or if I've got it in manual exposure like I have tonight, I know I've got full control over the camera, where it's focusing, and obviously the exposure. So I'll talk you through some of these opportunities, so I should get them tonight, yeah, you'll see why back button focus is really important. I mean, you can do it on any camera, and basically on the Fuji here, it's the AFL button there, and it's really good because it's right where my thumb rests. So I really like the back button focus on this camera. Some cameras the AFL button is in a terrible place and it makes it a bit awkward, but I'll always as soon as I get any camera, I'll always take the focusing off the shutter and make sure that I'll get my muscle memory used to where my thumb goes straight to rest, straight to focus, straight to rest, and then yeah, as soon as I hit the shutter, I know that the focus point isn't going to move. I'm not going to adjust the focus as I take the photograph. So yeah, definitely the best way. Give it a go. It doesn't work for everybody. I know a lot of people prefer having the focus on the shutter. Hope that helps anyway, and obviously as I talk through some of the photographs I get tonight, hopefully I'll be able to share with you. Yeah, got the GoPro Hero 7 on the top. It sucks in low light, so I really apologise for that, but yeah, we're going to do the best. Anyway, let's get on with it. Let's go for a quick wander and let's see what we get. See you in a sec. Just found this absolutely amazing, but at the same time dreadful walkway under a bridge, and there's this sort of temporary structure that's up on the left hand side, which is acting as quite a nice reflector on the lights down there. And I'm just waiting for somebody to come around the corner, but of course there's no way of me seeing. Let's put that down. There's no way of me seeing what's going to come around that corner. So I've pre-focused, I've used the back button focus on that corner. I'm at F2. There. Hello, how are you, alright? Found the bridge, another bridge. I've only done about 200 yards from the last one. They're awesome, we've got these amazing leading lines going over, well, that direction. But I'm on one path, which doesn't seem to be getting used. Quite a lot of people are using the path over there, so I'm just going to wait for one person to walk past that scene over there, and then use these lines in the roof pointing down to them. So I'm going to pre-focus using the back button focus on the railing. I'm going to go to about f2.8, between f2.8 and f3.6, just to see which gives me the right depth of field, because there's no one there obviously for me to focus on, and I need to be focused in advance, so when they walk into the scene I haven't got to try and let the camera focus on them, because that won't work. So yeah, it's a good example of where back button focus really comes into its own. No, you're in it. You made it, mate. You made the shot. Thanks very much. Pre-focus. All that unloading. Through the middle. Found a cracking location here. Got this really nicely lit wall from the top with a nice sort of a footpath edge there on the bottom, and then just next to it, I'm on the corner of John Lewis, and just next to it I've got this sort of foyer area with these nice pillars. I think they look really good because they're downlit, the lights are above. The only thing I'm worried about is a security camera there, and if you stand and pointing a camera at a security camera, quite often you get security coming out, don't you? But no, it's really nice here. I think I can use these columns, pre-focus, use the back button focus to pre-focus in between two of these columns, and then obviously wait for somebody to come into the scene. There's really nice texture in that glass over there as well, I really like that. This is a nice composition, this, just at the bottom of this building. Lovely textures in that wall there, but I don't know how I can use that. But I like the light on this. If I go to the side there, just pre-focus in front of that. Oh, I forgot that one. That would have been nice. Just at 3.2, 200th per second, and then set that light there. That might be quite nice. I've come to the other side of the shot we took a second ago, and I really like it. I was just looking at the vertical lines again from a different angle. And a pre-focused at 3.2, bang in the middle of them two pillars, and there on my left third. So just need somebody to walk through that scene, and everybody keeps seeing me with the camera and walking around me. So pre-focused there in the middle of them. Oh, who would you know? That's nice. Really loving this location. This is my sort of shot in a nutshell. This is. So just the difficulty is obviously not knowing what's going to come around that corner. But I really like the frame. I really like this arch leading round to the composition there, which will be in my top right hand third. I've moved the camera back and forwards because I think on this occasion the 35mm equivalent isn't wide enough, because I love the 35mm because it keeps all my verticals vertical and it keeps everything, when I shoot square, it keeps everything square. But with this, it doesn't, like looking on the back of the GoPro, there's a really nice curved effect when I put the camera near this wall, and it's not quite showing on the 35mm. So yeah, really love the shot though, it's fantastic. So I've positioned myself sort of here and pre-focus about there, so it gives me a chance to see them coming around the corner and then appear into the frame. So I'm at f2, oh, I've knocked it. I'm at f2.8. Was a bike just come around there, then that looked really cool. But I didn't like the composition so much. But I think here, because it kind of disappears around the corner, I think that looked really cool. So I'm just going to wait f2.8, 200th per second. ISO is 6400. I think that's quite nice. I might underexpose it a bit more actually, might drop the ISO down. So 3, 2, 1, like that. I've just found a new street full of bars on the back streets of Cardiff city centre. Absolutely fantastic. And loads of people hanging around. See him up there outside. It's a really, really nice evening. I spotted this guy having a cigarette against the wall. He looked fantastic. So just pre-focused and waiting for him to breathe the smoke out. Hopefully I got that. I'll be really, really pleased with that. This is a fantastic spot. This is. I was just on the way back to the car. I can remember where I parked it. And I found this really, it's like on the way out of the shopping area, really, really nice arcade area. And there's these security lights which are far too strong. They're leaving awesome, awesome lines. See the contrast there. These lines that kind of point to that area there. Where is it? Kind of points to that area there. So I'm just pre-focusing about a metre away from the door. I'm going to wait for somebody to walk into the scene, and that should be really, really nice. This has to be in the video. Can you see that? Somebody's still got the Christmas tree up. It's the 22nd of February. Well, that went well, I think. Ever heard of this coffee? Brew coffee. Just bumped into the chap in Cardiff, said it was the best coffee in Wales. Can't wait to get this down me. That went really, really well. I was quite worried, a bit nervous about photographing in Cardiff because it's not somewhere new. So when you get somewhere like London or Birmingham or Bristol or whatever for street photography, or and you've not been there or you don't know it particularly well, it's all, when you see something, it's quirky, it's exciting, you know, it's easy to see something and be drawn to it. But when you've been walking around Cardiff for a couple of years and you know it's a familiar area, I suppose it has its perks in a way, because you'd probably spot somewhere and think, oh, that would be really, really good for a photograph there, so you know you could go back to it. But with Cardiff, I didn't really feel, because it's, you know, it's a really pretty town, but it's difficult because a lot of it shuts up at night and it just turns into a sort of commercial pub scene, really. So it's great for a few beers, but I thought wandering around with a camera, it was a bit weird because I didn't really know where to go, and I had a few ideas of shots I wanted to get. I just could not find them. So yeah, it was a challenge, but I really did enjoy it. I want to get better at street photography, and I think that if I just go to the places like London, Bristol, Birmingham, and all these popular places where you sport for choice, I think it's not really, you are going to get better, but I'm not going to be able to get to these places that often. So I thought if I get to Cardiff, and I might do a few shoots here just to see if I can sort of speed up my sort of response to seeing it, predicting a photograph, anticipating it, getting the focus, waiting for the shot, composing it, and then wait for the subject to come in. So hopefully practice makes perfect, doesn't it? You're going to get better the more you get out. So Cardiff's my nearest city. I've obviously got Carmarthen as well, and absolutely no chance at night in Carmarthen. There's no one there. But it was really, really good. I can't imagine not using the back button focus though. With the way I was shooting tonight, I was kind of I found a photograph I liked, I found the composition, and I was just waiting for somebody to come in to the shots. As soon as I got there, first thing I did was pre-focused. So I knew where I wanted the person to be. If anybody was going to come into that scene, I was focusing, because at night you're shooting about f2, f2.8, f2.2, so you haven't got much depth of field. You want to keep the shutter up because obviously I'm using a human element in all the pictures, and I wanted to make sure that obviously they're sharp. So 1/125th of a second was the absolute lowest I was going to go to. I was trying to stay around the 1/60th, which means, you know, you're at f2, f2.2, 6400 ISO, and you haven't really got much light. So that I wanted to make sure, no matter what happened, that I was at a fast enough shutter. I was pre-focused exactly where they were going to be. So I don't see how using a shutter would find that focus quick enough. Maybe it would, I don't know, but I know that as soon as I get to my composition, I find my scene, I think, right, that's where I want the person to be, focus there, and as soon as they get to that spot, give myself a meter, maybe just to give it some visibility, so when they come, you can't predict somebody come around the corner, can you? So and then I know as soon as they get to that mark that they're going to be sharp, and all I've got to do is make sure that I've got a fast enough shutter. Yeah, but it was really, really, really good. Let me know which image you think worked best. I was a bit worried about it, but I think I found one or two images that look certainly on the back of the camera look really, really nice. So yeah, pretty chuffed with them. Yeah, if you're on Instagram, feel free to drop me a message or follow me on Instagram. And if you use the hashtag street_ga, what I'll do is every couple of weeks when I do my next street photography video, I'll include some of the photographs that people have sort of tagging me in, and we can get a little community going and sort of help each other out. I mean, I really want to get better at street photography, so that's what I figured if I come to Cardiff and get out of my comfort zone here, especially at night. Street photography at night is really difficult. And then yeah, we'll get better. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope if anybody's interested in back button focusing, I hope this video's helped them out. But no, I really enjoyed it. I'm going to get a coffee down now and head home. But thanks so much for watching. Please hit the like button. Let me know in the comments which photograph you think's best, and hit the subscribe button. Join me on Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.